I have got a new pattern for you all. It's called the Campbell, and I'm very excited about it because it has a cup sizes for A cup through D cup in all the adult sizes from 0 to 18. The adult size package is going to be a little bit different than what my normal patterns are, but I'll put all the measurements out there so you can see it. So basically what it is a slip dress and with a leotard underneath. These are all the pieces. I'm just going to show you how to assemble the front because that's really the only tricky part. The leotard is basically a leotard. You can see I have it mostly assembled under here. Just your basic leotard, and I made it gold because that's what I have. And then this is the front of the skirt. And then this is the back of the skirt. And it has a seam down the center, so you have lots of room for movement and a bottom and some shape. So I think it's gonna look really good. So to get started, sew the center back seam. Make sure when you cut this out, you mark this center back seam, because when you go to put it together, you're gonna sew the wrong side and then you're gonna be like, what did I do? Why does this look so weird? So when you cut this out, make sure you mark this center back seam and do the same thing on the leotard. It's a little more obvious on the leotard because you have a leg line here, but always mark the center back if you're doing a seam there, because it can get very confusing. At least I've gotten very confused. All right, so I'm going to take this and put this over here, and we're just going to work on the front. Let's see if I can find all my pieces. All right, so the one I'm working on is a B cup. This is the center front, side front, and then this is the back, and the back will have a clip in it. Preferably like, let's see, one of these. I think this is the kind I use. And these, if you buy them in white, you can dye them with RIT dye, just so you know. This one was white and I dyed it black. Anyway, so this will go here. There's a couple different ways to finish this neckline. If you're using a really good power mesh, like this is kind of a sturdy power mesh. It's from Blue Moon Fabrics, and I think it's called their, hang on, let me see if I can find the name for you. I have a whole pile of it here. It's not super lightweight, which I like. Oh my gosh, I have yards and yards of it. Oh, here it is. Okay. It is called their Force Power Mesh Fabric. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you could actually scan the code. I don't know. I don't know what would come up. But anyway, it's a little bit sturdier than their regular power mesh, and I'm hoping that it's going to work for some of the costumes that I'm working on that need a little more structure and support in the bust. So I was thinking this would be a good use for this for you know, different cup sizes. Anyway, so there's a couple different ways you can finish this neck edge. You can serge it together, wrong sides or right sides together, and then turn it like that. And if you have a sturdy enough, your mesh is sturdy enough, it's going to be fine. The other way you can do it is to run some elastic through here. That works too. Whichever way you want to do it, it should be fine. If you sew and turn, sometimes it's helpful to zigzag these seam allowances to the lining, and then it won't flip out like that. So this one might flip out a little bit. I don't know, I'll have to wait and see. Since I'm not making it for anybody, I'm not as worried about it. So first things first, you're gonna zigzag your lining to the edges here, because then we're going to put our side seams on, and I like to sandwich them in between here and then sew that together. It gives this seam a little bit of structure and a little bit more support. And you could do it the other way. You could sew the lining together and then sew the outside together, and then, you know, sew them together at the edges. That works too. So I'm going to sew these bits together, and then the side seams, when I do the side seams, I'm just going to serge that on there. It's not going to be anything exciting. So I'll come back with this put together, and then I'll show you what's next.